I'm James Brierton in Charlotte, and we are talking Claudette. It was officially named on this Saturday morning, now a tropical storm status. That status could change a bit as we go through the weekend, and we'll talk about why that is or is not important. But right now, as of Saturday morning, you can see this tropical storm coming ashore near New Orleans along that Gulf Coast there in Alabama and Mississippi. And if we look at the official hurricane track forecast cone, you can see that it's expected to move throughout the southeast as we go through the rest of the weekend and through early Monday morning. At times, maybe it's a tropical storm, maybe it's a tropical depression. There's even a chance that by the time this passes all throughout the southeast, including here in the Carolinas, and then reemerges out into the Atlantic Ocean, that it could regain some tropical storm characteristics. But again, there's two things I need to tell you about this forecast cone. Although it gives us the general path, don't focus too much on the timings yet, and don't focus too much on the strength. I'll show you why. Back over to that satellite image, you can see that area of rotation now just north of the New Orleans metropolitan area, and you can see that's where the clouds are really kind of tightly circulating. But look to the top right, to the northeast of there. That's where the biggest cloud mass is, and that's where the biggest amount of rain is. If we switch this over to radar, you can actually see that rain stretching from just outside of Jackson, Mississippi, through Birmingham, Alabama, out into Atlanta, Georgia on the Saturday morning, and that's well out ahead of the area of rotation. And of course, with a tropical system, it is normally that top right or that northeast quadrant that packs the biggest punch, but with this particular storm, that's where the real emphasis is. I mean, on radar right now, there's essentially nothing to the southwest of the area of circulation, so that's why when you look at the forecast cone from the Hurricane Center, this is tracking the actual location of the low. So when you look at South Carolina and it says 7 p.m. on Sunday, that's when the low is moving through. But again, remember, the wind and the rain threat is out ahead of the storm. And so that's why as we look at the earliest arrival times of tropical storm force winds, you'll notice those align more with Sunday at 8 a.m. in the Carolinas. And that's because, again, those winds are going to get here, that rain is going to get here first. So let's look at a couple different model runs. This is a high-resolution HRRR run here on Saturday morning, and you can already see those rain areas are going to continue to move to the north and to the east, and we'll start to get some of that more persistent rain as we get to after midnight on this Saturday, early Sunday morning here in the Carolinas. You can see there's an area that has some more consistent rain, but also some discrete cells that are going to be popping up just south of where that more consistent rain sets up, and there's two different threats that we're going to be watching for here. So if we switch over to the NAM model run, which will actually allow us to play this out a little bit further in time, get us through the rest of Sunday and into early Monday morning, you can see that area of low pressure will circulate across the Carolinas and will bring with it rain and some discrete cells. Is this the exact track that it's going to take? Not necessarily. With any forecast run, we can always anticipate it may shift 40, 60 miles or so, but this is the gist of what we can expect. We can expect this low to move across the Carolinas. Could it be a tropical storm, depression, or remnant low? That doesn't really matter so much as the actual impacts from the storm. So one of the impacts is going to be accumulated rainfall. All of us are going to see some rain from this, maybe quarter to half an inch. But if you look at this particular model run, which is one of the variants of the NAM, we can get an idea of how some of these tropical discrete downpours could bring areas of 1, 2, 3 inches of rain to certain areas. Again, maybe not these very specific areas that you see on the map here, but somebody could get, again, these areas of heavy tropical downpours as you're going through your Father's Day on Sunday. And so you should expect to have some sort of rain plan for your weekend on Sunday, and again, be monitoring for the chance of localized flash flooding. That is one of the biggest concerns that is with Claudette. Here's a look at the flash flood risk over the next 3 days. Of course, it's the highest, a moderate risk right now across portions of the southeast and Alabama into Georgia, where they're going to be at the heart of this tropical storm strength. But then as we make our way through the Carolinas and again expect to see some weakening with the system, we do still have a 10% chance of seeing some flash flooding as we go through Sunday and the first part of Monday morning. We can't rule out the chance of an isolated tornado. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has given us that marginal risk, tier 1 out of 5, but this is separate from that flash flooding risk. So flash flood is one set of outlooks. This is another set of outlooks for severe weather. We can't completely rule it out. So all in all, you should be monitoring for persistent periods of heavy rain on Sunday and the first part of Monday, and that means watching for the pooling of water or flash flooding, especially if you live in an area that you know has poor drainage problems or is along creeks, rivers, and such. We can't rule out the chance of an isolated tornado. It never hurts, of course, to have a NOAA weather radio. A couple of different ways to get weather alerts, whether you're maybe spending time with family or you're sleeping in the early morning hours or the later evening hours, something to wake you up and let you know that this is coming. So this is an interesting mixed bag of conditions that we'll be watching for with this storm. But all in all, if you remember one thing, don't worry, whether it's a tropical storm or a depression or even a remnant low, regardless, we're going to be watching for periods of heavy rain, chances of flash flooding, an isolated small threat, but can't be ruled out, brief tornadic spin-ups, especially with some of those more discrete cells. Here's what you can expect from us at the Carolina Weather Group. You can always find us streaming nonstop on our YouTube channel. Just search Carolina Weather Group. We have a video out every day that is live. It's called the Carolina Weather Net, and you can just leave that up. It has real-time weather conditions, real-time monitoring, and forecasting across the Carolinas. If the National Weather Service issues a flash flood warning or tornado warning, you'll find out about it on that platform. We have some of the best of our podcast, our weekly show airing on there, and then we'll be along with live coverage as the situation warrants. So the Carolina Weather Net is a place that you can park yourself, and then we'll come to you when the weather is bad. If you'd like to follow us instead on Facebook or on that YouTube platform, we will also have live streams that pop up in real time when we get into life-threatening emergency situations like catastrophic flash flooding or tornado warnings. So that's what you can expect from us. And we also use our audio podcast platform to distribute updates on storms when we get into a situation where if access to power or internet is limited, and maybe you've got a better chance of just downloading some audio to your phone, battery backup, lower internet connection. We'll also use the Carolina Weather Group's podcast feed to distribute information as needed during those times. So that's just a reminder, whether we need it for this storm or later on in this hurricane season, of the ways you can get updates right here from us at the Carolina Weather Group. But for now, from Charlotte, I'm James Brierton. I'll talk to you again real soon.